good Thursday evening. As you can tell, I am not going to make the Kings Island announcement for tonight. So I figured we would go through and do a little recap of what has been announced for the Cedar Fair parks for 2020. So with just a little less than 4 hours to go till Kings Island's announcement, I figured we'd lead up until that. So we're going to go over all the Cedar Fair parks that have made announcements so far for the 2020 season. So we're going to get started with California Great America. So California Great America is going to be getting a new water park expansion. It's going to be called South Bay Shores, and it's going to include 7 new attractions, which they're pretty much doing what Cedar Point did to Cedar Point Shores a couple of years ago and made it into what used to be their old water park, and then made it to Cedar Point Shores with the expansion and the new slides and such. So that's what's going on there. So Canada's Wonderland, this really baffled me. So they had 2 new attractions announced. The first one was called Mountain Bay Cliff, which is a multi-level cliff jumping experience that the visitors will go and jump into a large pool of water at the end. There's 3 different levels of jumping experiences that the guests can choose from. So I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do that without having to sign some sort of waiver for safety reasons, because I just know that that's not really a good safety feature, but you know, it might be something to definitely check out. And the other thing that Canada's Wonderland is getting is a kids ride. It's called the Beagle Brigade Airfield. It's a spinning airplane ride that's probably it's going to be in their Planet Snoopy area or Camp Snoopy. I don't know what they have, I forget. So the next park that announced something this morning was Carowinds. So Carowinds is going to be getting a new mat slide coaster. It's going to actually be the longest mat slide in the Southeast. And also they are going to be receiving for next year the Festival Grand Carnival. And as you guys know, that Grand Carnival was introduced this year in several of the parks. Kings Island, Dorney Park, Worlds of Fun, and Kings Dominion got it. So it doesn't surprise me with it being such a successful event at the other parks that it starts getting introduced into other Cedar Fair parks. So Carowinds is getting Grand Carnival. So the next park that we have that was announced was Michigan's Adventure, which I am so excited that Cedar Fair actually decided to spend money in Michigan's Adventure for once. They are going to get a brand new Camp Snoopy area. So you know that a couple of days ago, Michigan's Adventure announced that they were going to be getting rid of their Bebop auto cars. And so that opens up a whole area around their kids' rides that they currently have. So they're actually going to be getting in this Camp Snoopy area 5 new rides. They're going to be getting Woodstock Express, which is going to be a new roller coaster, which is the first roller coaster that Michigan's Adventure has seen in 12 years. So I'm very excited the fact that they're getting, even though it's a kiddie coaster, they're getting a brand new coaster. They're going to also be getting Beagle Scout Outlook, Mud Buggies, Camp Bus, and Trailblazers. And they're also, on top of the 5 new rides, they're going to be receiving a new area. It's called Beagle Scout Acres, which is going to be a large climb and play area, very similar to what Cedar Point put up in Forbidden Frontier. If anyone's ever been there, that is a very, very nice play area for the kids. So I'm glad that another park has taken that idea and put a theme to it. So thank you so much, Cedar Fair, for giving Michigan's Adventure something for once. I was really hoping for a coaster for them, but a kiddie coaster is okay too. So the next park we're going to talk about is Dorney Park. Dorney Park also announced not that long ago that they were going to be getting rid of one of their water slide complexes. So it wasn't a surprise at all when they announced that they're going to be getting Seaside Splashworks, which is going to be an interactive water area that's going to feature 6 new slides. It's going to have also spray jets, water cannons, and also one of those large tipping buckets that are going to soak everybody that always fills up. In addition to that, there's also going to be a brand new toddler splash zone. I really, really was hoping that Dorney Park was going to get a coaster this year, considering that they have not had a new one in a while, and they took out Stinger a couple years ago, and they also had their last year of Dinosaurs Alive was last year too, so which was right next to where Stinger was located. It was a perfect place for a coaster, but hopefully next year Dorney Park will announce that. I really wanted them to get a coaster. They need it so badly. So the next park we're going to talk about that was announced was Worlds of Fun, which they had announced that they were going to be getting rid of their water slides in Oceans of Fun that had been there since the water park had opened. So they are replacing that water slide complex with Riptide Raceway, which is going to be the longest mat ride in the Midwest, which is very similar to what Carowinds is going to be doing. So they're going to get a new slide complex. Again, that didn't surprise me considering they had closed the one water slide. And again, I feel the same thing with Worlds of Fun. I loved that park when we visited last fall, and I really, really wish that they were going to be getting a new coaster this year. But again, fingers crossed for Worlds of Fun and Dorney Park for next year, because they're great parks. I loved visiting both of them, and I wish them that they would get an expansion soon. So the next park we're going to visit on is Kings Dominion, which it had been announced at the beginning of July that they were going to be closing down one of their giant wave pools, which the park actually has two. So the water park actually was still called Soak City back from the Paramount days. Well, they're going to update the water park and rename it Coconut Shores, which again, no surprise, that's a lot of times what Cedar Fair has been doing. You saw that with Cedar Point Shores. You saw that with California Great America, they're doing that. Carolina Harbor down at Carowinds did it. So Coconut Grove going to Kings Dominion. They will be receiving Lighthouse Landing, which is an interactive water area, just like what Dorney Park announced with the tipping buckets, the slides. And then they are also going to be receiving Sand Dune Lagoon, which is going to be a new wave pool, probably where the current wave pool that they announced was closing is going to be. So the next park we're going to talk about is Valleyfair. Valleyfair, unfortunately, did not announce any new rides. They, however, are going to be getting Grand Carnival. So Carowinds and Valleyfair are going to be getting Grand Carnival. Again, that's another park that really needs another new attraction in their lineup, either a coaster or a flat ride. And I've never been to that park, but I do know that from other people that have visited the park, they've said that park lacks the amount of things to do. So again, hopefully next year Cedar Fair will think of Dorney and Valleyfair and Worlds of Fun. New coaster, please. So the next park to announce today was Cedar Point. Cedar Point is going gold. So just like Kings Island, you're going to get a gold pass, and for a limited time only, they are doing a special introductory price of $99. So act fast. So the Cedar Point Gold Pass will also include admission to Cedar Point Shores and also free parking, which is very convenient, especially if you just go to Cedar Point a lot and you don't visit any of the other awesome Cedar Fair parks. And then they also announced the first phase of the 150th anniversary. They're going to be getting a new nighttime celebration on the Midway. They are also going to be getting a lot of throwback food that used to be in the park, and I'm hoping that one of them is Berardi fries, because Berardi French fries were the original French fry that they served in Cedar Point before they have the current fry which the park serves now. They are also going to get a lot of nostalgic merchandise in the park, And then Town Hall is also going to be getting a brand new refurbishment for the 150th anniversary. And the one thing that they have announced, but they have not said a name yet, is they're going to get a new river expedition for the family, which I hope that they are going to bring the paddle wheel excursion back, because I really think that they missed the mark taking that out. So here's to hoping that paddle wheel will come back to Cedar Point. So please, 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 paddle wheel. So the next park that announced was Knott's Berry Farm, then after Cedar Point. Knott's Berry Farm, unfortunately, is not going to be getting a new ride because they just got hang time last year. But next year is also another anniversary year for a Cedar Fair park, with Knott's turning 100. So they are going to be doing a all summer long celebration, and they didn't give much details on that. More details to come is what the park said. So that's what is going on with Knott's for next year. So the only park that we have not discussed is Kings Island, which it is 10 o'clock for Kings Island's big announcement. I have a lot of friends down there right now, and I'm sorry I could not make it. I wish I could. I'm there in spirit. I'm wearing my Beast shirt to, celebrate the big Kings Island coaster unveiling. I hope that it's a Giga. Everyone's been saying it's a Giga. I do not know what the name is. I have not thought of any speculation on what the name is, because Cedar Fair trademarked Orion or Polaris does not mean that they're going to be naming it. They could have trademarked it for something else. So I will be watching it via Kings Island live stream at 10 o'clock, and I cannot wait to see what they announce. So the other thing that they are really hyping on all the Cedar Fair parks right now is make sure you get your passes, because right now all of the passes, whether it be gold or platinum, they're on sale right now. And if you do your pass for 2020, right now you get a free Bring a Friend pass and also one free Fastlane pass. So that's always good, especially when you think if that new coaster at Kings Island is going to have a 5-hour wait on opening day, which a lot of times it does, you can use the Fastlane possibly, or use it on Steel Vengeance, which always has a very long wait too. So I hope everyone is enjoying their Cedar Fair Christmas, because it's been great. I'm so glad that they, like I said again, have been investing in some of the smaller parks. And since I am so kind and love Cedar Fair, I had posted earlier on my page that I'm doing a giveaway. So please make sure that you put down on that post, comment below, what Cedar Fair announcement you have been most excited about that they have announced today or are announcing, hence Kings Highlands. And I'm going to be doing a big Cedar Fair giveaway. I'm actually going to be giving away something from almost every Cedar Fair park in that package. So thank you again so much for all of your support, and I will see you guys as you enjoy our wild ride into 2020 with Cedar Fair and all the parks that we visit. Bye.